Welcome back. This is Loved Without Losing Yourself, a space for women who are capable, intelligent, and accomplished, yet quietly exhausted from holding everything together. Here, we talk about what it really takes to come back to yourself without burning your life down. So let's begin. Today, I want to start with a pain that is silent. Something that very few of us dare to speak out loud. And this is what I mean. I have been loving someone with everything I have, and they have been deciding deliberately, consciously, whether I am enough to deserve it back. Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a version of yourself you can never quite satisfy. But whomever it is, you know this feeling. The feeling of love being held just out of reach, conditional, earned, withdrawn the moment you stop meeting the requirements. And what happens to a woman inside that dynamic? She stops trusting herself. She starts auditioning. She shrinks, adjusts, tries harder, becomes less. She goes from a woman with a full life to a woman who is managing someone else's conditions for her life. Today, I want to talk about conditional love. What it does, what it costs, and most importantly, the one shift that changes everything. So, what is conditional love? My mentor and teacher, Brooke Castillo, talks about love as an emotion that lives inside you, not in the person you are pointing it at. So, when you love someone, you feel that, not them, you. When someone withholds love from you, they feel that. The coldness, the distance, the quiet cruelty of making someone earn what should be freely given. But what I want you to hear today is this. When someone puts condition on their love for you, when they say in words or in behavior, I will love you when you're different, they are not telling you the truth about who you are. They are telling you the truth about how they love. Sit with this for a minute. It's not about who you are. It's about how they love. And those two are completely different things. The problem is that when we are inside a relationship where love is conditional, we almost always make it about ourselves. We take the conditions personally. We read them as evidence, as proof that we are in fact not enough. So we start working on the list. We try to become what they need. We adjust, accommodate, shrink, perform. We hand over our confidence, our clarity, our sense of self, all in serving on meeting conditions that were never ours to meet in the first place. And while we are busy doing all that, we forget something essential. We forget that we are the only ones who get to decide how we feel. I want to tell you a real story. A woman I work with, and I want to call her Anna. So when Anna came to me, she was in this state where not in crisis, border desperation, but what she felt was hollowed out, like something essential has been slowly taken from her. And she wasn't sure the timeline. She didn't understand where it happened, not even how to name how she felt. And as we talked, this story emerged. Her partner, the man that she loved so much, she gave so much, she stayed, she nurtured, she gave unconditionally. She was still in love with him after so many years. Told her directly and very clearly that he wasn't happy, that she needed to change. He gave her a list, his needs, his expectations, the version of her he required in order for him to stay and love her. And Anna, being the kind of woman she was, and she was intelligent, she was loving, she was deeply committed, did what most women do. She took that list seriously. She tried to understand it. She worked on herself. She adjusted. She showed up differently. She tried harder. She gave more. And every time she reached for him, he withdrew a little further. He withheld affection, warmth, touch, the small ordinary kindness that tells another person, you are safe here. You are wanted here. I love you. I want to be with you. And Anna, who had loved this man completely and without conditions, found herself doing something that she had never done before in her life. Do you want to know what that is? She begged. She started begging for his love, begging for his affection. And it wasn't only with words. When she tried to hug him and he pushed her away, when she initiated touch and he told her he was not interested, when she asked him why, and his response was, change, and I will decide if I want to be with you. Shocking, isn't it? It definitely can deteriorate a person's confidence and knock them out of balance. She said to me, I used to know who I was. Now I spend all my time trying to figure out who he needs me to be. And Anna wasn't a weak woman, wasn't a naive woman. She wasn't someone who didn't know her own worth. She was a woman who loved deeply and believed the way most of us believe, that if she just loved hard enough, showed up well enough, changed enough for the right things, the love will come back. And this is not weakness. That is what happens when an intelligent, loving woman internalizes someone else's conditions as truth. And the betrayal wasn't just that he withheld love. That wasn't a betrayal on that betrayal only. The betrayal was that she had never done that to him. She had loved him as he was, fully, without a list. And the asymmetry of that, the realization that she had given something she was not receiving, was the thing that finally cracked her open. What she did was to work on herself for a long time before she managed to shift the way she saw herself, to understand her worth and stop blaming and regretting things that she believed she's done or not done in the past. What created change was one question. What are you actually trying to control right now? And the answer to that was, I am trying to make him feel differently about me. And when I asked, how is that going? She laughed and she said, it's not. It was a sad kind of laugh, because she understood that she couldn't control how he felt about her. We all know that you cannot change what someone else feels. We cannot earn our way into someone else's love if they have decided to withhold it We cannot perform our way to someone's approval if their approval was never really about us. You have no power over how he feels about you, but you have complete power over how you feel and how you show up. And right now, you're giving all of that power away. This is when recognition came. She had known this somewhere underneath all the trying. And hearing it said clearly gave her permission to stop pretending she didn't know it. And this is what she told me at the end. I've been so focused on changing what he thinks of me that I stopped thinking about what I think of myself. That was it. That was the turning point. And that moment wasn't about deciding to leave or stay. The moment she came back to the only question that had ever been hers to answer, who am I and how do I want to show up, regardless of what he decides. And this is not just about relationships. I want to widen this even more because I know that not everyone listening is in Anna's exact situation. But I want to ask you, where in your life are you trying to change how someone else feels about you? Maybe it's a partner. Maybe it's a parent whose approval you have been chasing for decades. Maybe it's a boss who never seems satisfied. A friend who makes you feel like you are always slightly failing. A version of yourself you have been trying to become so that you can finally feel like you are enough. Whatever it is, I want you to hear this clearly. You cannot change what another person feels. You never could. And every hour you spend trying is an hour you're not spending on what actually belongs to you. Your feelings, your standards, your way of showing up in your own life. And here what I want you to take from this episode today. Love is an emotion you feel, not something you earn, not something you perform your way into, not something another person grants you when you finally get it right. And when someone makes you feel like it is, like love is a reward for good behavior, they are not showing you who you are. They are showing you how they love. And you get to decide what to do with that information. The next time you catch yourself working to change how someone feels about you, trying to earn approval, manage their perception, adjust yourself to meet their conditions, I want you to stop and ask 2 questions. First, do I have any actual power over how this person feels? The honest answer is almost always no. You can influence, you cannot control. Second, what do I have power over right now? And the answer to that is always the same. How you feel and how you show up. Not for them, but for you. That is the only place your power has ever lived. And every minute you spend trying to control someone else's feelings is a minute you're abandoning that power completely. Anna didn't change her situation overnight, but she changed her relationship to it. She stopped begging for love and started choosing how she wanted to feel, regardless of what he decided. And in doing so, she started to remember who she was. Eventually, she rediscovered herself, but it requires commitment and a willingness to feel the pain and sit with this pain as long as it takes until you stop being afraid of it. And instead of being afraid, you understand it. You understand its origin. and what it represents. You stop being the person who was trying to meet his conditions, to remember the self that existed before the list. Before we close, I want to leave you with this. Where in your life are you trying to change how someone else feels about you? And what has that been costing you? Forget about them. You, what is the cost you are paying? What version of yourself have you been setting aside, adjusting, making smaller in the hope that if you change enough, they will finally love you the way you deserve to be loved? And what would it mean to stop? Not to give up, not to stop caring, but to come back to the only power you have ever actually had. How do you feel? And how you show up. Sit with that. Don't rush to pass it. Don't try not to feel. Don't avoid those emotions. Just sit and understand. Okay, my friends, if something in this episode felt uncomfortably familiar, if you recognized yourself in Anna's story, in the trying, the adjusting, the quiet loss of yourself inside someone else's conditions, I want you to know that this is the work. Your work doesn't lie in trying to fix the relationship, and certainly not to try to change the other person. Coming back to yourself, to your feelings, to your power, to the woman you were before you started trying to earn love you should never have had to earn. In a reset session, that is exactly what we do. We look at where you have been giving away your emotional power, what it has been costing you, and what becomes possible when you come back to yourself. That conversation changes things, not because I have answers you don't have, but because sometimes you need someone to sit with you in the truth of it and helps you find your way back. If you're ready for that, the link to book is in the show notes. And if you're not quite there yet, take the burnout assessment. It will show you clearly where you have been running on empty and where your power has been quietly slipping away. Both links are in the show notes. You cannot change how someone else feels about you, but you have complete power over how you feel and how you show up. That has always been enough. Thank you for being here. I will speak to you next week. Much love.